play to win. I like when odds are slim. I'll prove it when results come in.
Hey guys, you just heard a snippet from our upcoming release called Play to Win, and hopefully it'll be released next month in November. And what makes that song unique is the vocalist was coordinated. The vocals were coordinated in the Philippines. So this is pretty much the topic I'm going to talk about. Hopefully it's a short video. We have an upcoming project called Project Gleam. It's a 5-song compilation, and like I mentioned, it's coordinated around the world with musical artists, vocalists, maybe engineers, music sound engineers, all collaborating, and will be released under J Dizzle Music on YouTube, also released on all the major platforms, Spotify, YouTube Music, so forth. Anyways, check out YouTube Music on YouTube to stay updated on when these releases are going to happen. But first of all, for those of you that don't know me, my name is J Dizzle. I'm a music producer. I'm also a remixer. Most of you that have known me for a while, you know me as a fitness expert or a web developer geek that I own my own software company. However, I do have a somewhat fairly vast amount of music production and music business background. And 17 years I was a DJ. I was a club DJ. I was a mobile DJ, DJed for big events. Lockheed was one of my big clients back in the days. I have my own record label, and we released 2 albums. We actually made some money from being a record label, but I also got involved into the promotions part. So there are 17 years in the making, so I'm not a rookie in this industry, and what I'm going to talk to you about right now is about how the music industry is changing, and gives you a good perspective on what I'm trying to do and what is this new venture all about. Okay, first of all, let's divide it into 2 sections. First of all, let's look at the music production side, music development side, and let's look at the music business side as 2 separate topics. First of all, let's look at music development. So music development, you have, let's say, about 5 prime areas. We could look at the songwriting, okay, and then we could look at the beat maker or the music production part of it. But you could also look at the vocal recording, which is the engineer, the person that tracks all the vocals in the studio. And then you have mixing and mastering. Now, there are a lot of subcategories underneath each of these 5 sections. For example, songwriting involves writing the lyrics, also composing the chords, the music on how it's supposed to go, and arranging, etc. And also beat production is another way of saying music producer, where you may outsource some of the instruments to a different person, and you put it all together and track it on your computer, on a DAW. You may have a guitar player. So all those these five categories actually have subcategories. I don't want to get into too many details because there's too many to name. The unique part is just about everything I just mentioned can be coordinated online. So if it does take talent, you can't just be a person that just wants to walk into the music business and say, I'm going to be a music record producer, and I'm going to produce some music, and I'm going to release it under my own record label. You need a little bit of background, because putting it all together, you may end up with a crappy composition in the end. So the process is fairly easy. If you have background, it's straightforward. You find a beat. Okay, this is just an example, by the way. You find a beat and you pay for licensing, maybe $200 to $500. You get a pretty cool beat. It's just ready-made by a producer out there who's hungry and they want to sell their beat for $200, $500. You pay for a license to use it, to be able to release it, multiple copies under your record label. And then you hire what's called a top liner, in other words, a songwriter. And they write to that beat, and they come up with their own melody. Hopefully it's original melody. And they come up with the lyrics, and that could be $50 to $300. Depends on how recognized the top liner is. Okay, and then based on all this product that you're getting, you got a beat, you have a song that's sang by a top liner. Hopefully you could get a vocalist to sing it as well. If you want someone to write the song and then hire a vocalist separately, you could do that, or you could get a top liner that can do both. Then you have a mixing engineer or a music producer, and they take all this information and they lay it down onto a DAW, a digital audio workstation, and they pretty much balance it out and put effects and make it sound more even and more music music radio station friendly. Then the last stage is mastering, where you send it out and they run it through a machine and they compress it and they make it ready for all your musical devices and ready for release in all the stores. So that's pretty much the process. And now I just mentioned some of the prices, but all this could cost between $350 to $1,200. Now, for some of you that don't know the music industry, you just go, wow, $300, $1,200, that's a lot of money. But it's not when you compare to some of these major record labels spending $3,000 to $5,000 per song. Even these independent small record labels, it could cost $5,000 to produce one song, because you go into the studio, you get all these people working together, professionals working together in the studio. There's time of the studio time, but there's also all this coordination between all kinds of different people. Now, a lot of that can be done online and for a fraction of the cost. So this is where I'm getting into how the industry is changing. Now, comparing someone like Bruno Mars or Ariana Grande, and you get that all done professionally and you spend $5,000 or $10,000 per track. Will this $300, $500 track be equivalent? Will it be worthy? Maybe not as good, but does it have potential to be a hit? And the answer is yes, because it comes down to marketing. It really doesn't have to be $5,000 expensive production to become a hit. You could spend $300, and if you do have good marketing, it could be a very profitable product. So the next topic I'm going to talk about is marketing. So a lot of people know Blackpink, K-pop, Asia. They have their own thing going. They're huge. I'm mentioning Blackpink because they are the #1 artist on YouTube. They've been there for probably almost a year now. They passed Justin Bieber probably about 8 months ago, I believe. But when it comes to marketing, a lot of people know that name, Blackpink. And it's because it was a 6-year project in the making. A lot of people don't realize this. They're just hearing about them now because they're huge. But it took a lot of social media. It took a lot of YouTube videos, TikTok. It took performances, took appearances, took interviews to establish that name, Blackpink. Now, what's the sad part about it is, we know K-pop, it's recognized around the world now. But when you look at Asia in itself, you could listen to a Blackpink song and go, wow, this is a great song, a great video. But you could actually cross over into Thailand music or Philippines music, and you can say, this is a great video as well. This sounds just like K-pop. So there's a lot of equivalent. The music production is really good. Some of the English pronunciations are fairly good, and you can't distinguish a significant difference between Asian pop these days if you do your research, and you do enough research and you listen to what's out there. So with that said, you could get quality music from almost any of these Asian countries in the world. And if it's marketed right, it takes time. You build up that traction, you build up music videos, your YouTube, your TikTok, and it can become a successful product. So music videos is important. You need a producer, you need a director, you need a production crew, you need a release manager, you need dance choreography sometimes, you need a social media manager, you need a video editor, you need a publicist, booking agent, promotional team. So that's all of the categories I mentioned that are needed to establish a successful record label. Okay, lastly, I would like to mention about NFTs. So this is a topic that is saturating the market right now. Everybody's talking about NFTs, but they don't know what they are. And to be honest with you, it's overrated, because using that word NFT, which stands for non-fungible token, is just a process. And when you understand that process, you don't need to call it an NFT. So don't get me wrong, NFTs is going to be part of the future. But what it is like the stock market. For example, if you want your music, if you want to sell it and you want a different method, instead of going through a record label, you're an independent artist, you don't have to say, okay, I'm going to put it out NFTs. You could have bonding contracts. You could have people investing into your business instead of buying one record, one stream, which could be done on Spotify. Why pay an NFT? I mean, it's free when you subscribe to Spotify. But to get investment to support your projects, those could be so-called NFTs or a commodity of stock. So buying a commodity or a product in order to sell for a higher value. That's what I'm talking about. And it's the same thing as trading stock. It's a better way to explain it. So NFTs utilize the blockchain. Okay, but that's not the only security method you could use. You could have a contract. So you don't need to use an NFT to do the whole process. So this brings up the last topic, which is our project. Project Gleam is just one of many projects that's going to happen within the next year or so. And because of online collaboration, we're able to keep costs significantly down to produce music, a lot of music, getting the artists to collaborate, from different countries. That's the whole key area. US dollar is high right now. So you could contract in Argentina or the Philippines or Africa even, and you could get a product that's a lot cheaper, and you can release it on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube Music, so forth. And that is the whole idea about this project, is we're doing this for a really relevant small cost, but we still need marketing abilities. So that has to come from either private investors or self-funded. But we have a lot of percentages, a lot of royalties to play with now because we're independent artists. We don't have the middleman record label. For example, something like 2,500 could be invested into marketing, and maybe you get 4 million views. So 4 million views for a 20% cut of this project is like doubling your money, okay? And that's just an example. But when an artist becomes established, you start getting 100,000 views, it becomes worth the investment just to put $2,000, $5,000 into these music companies, because we have 20-40% of the royalties. We could control that amount. So anyways, that is a brief, not really brief, but that's my explanation on my perspective of the music industry. And I hope you guys check out what we have coming for the next year or so. Starting now through the next year, we'll be releasing maybe 15-20 songs. And check out YouTube Music. Check us out, J Dizzle Music. And I hope to see you guys soon in the next video.